For some of us, Palm Sunday is just another Sunday. Unfortunately, in some churches, Palm Sunday is just another Sunday. And that's a problem. Because Palm Sunday isn't just the Sunday before Easter. It's the beginning of the most important week in human history. So how did something so powerful become something so forgettable? Palm Sunday begins the week that is called Holy Week. We spent the last 40-day period preparing ourselves for this week and for Easter. During this week, we memorialize, remember, participate, celebrate some very important things. Palm Sunday is the day that Jesus enters Jerusalem triumphantly. And then we have Holy Monday, which is when Jesus was anointed by Mary. Then we have on Tuesday, what's called by some Temple Tantrum Tuesday, when Jesus cleanses the temple for what I believe to be the second time, but the last time. Spy Wednesday is when Judas betrays Jesus. Catholics and Orthodox call that Holy Wednesday. And then there's Maundy Thursday, when Jesus washes his disciples' feet. That's also the night that he eats his final Passover and gives us what we call communion. Good Friday, which is good for us, but it's when Jesus dies. Silent Saturday. And then, of course, Easter Sunday or Resurrection Sunday, when Jesus is no longer dead and in the tomb. Now, this Holy Week that we are celebrating has been around for ages. And for thousands of years, the church has celebrated it or partaken in it. And there's lots of great traditions that surround it. In fact, in some churches, we have palm branches to remember Jesus' triumphal entry on Palm Sunday. And then we take those ashes, we burn them, and they become the ashes for next year's Ash Wednesday. I mean, this is a big deal. It's a holy moment. It's a holy week. It's a holy time. But for a lot of us, it just becomes another ritual. And sadly, for some of us, Easter Sunday is just about Easter eggs and the bunny. So how did we get here from there? How did Palm Sunday and the rest of the Holy Week lose its meaning? And for me, I think it came about, and you've heard me say this before, it came about because of little round plastic discs. Yes, little round plastic discs. And that's a reference to the communion wafers that you probably saw a lot during COVID. But they're the ones that are packaged and heat sealed into the convenient little cup and bread that's passed around in a very convenient cardboard carrier. And the little plastic that holds the bread together was heat sealed in there with the bread, and you need fingernails or something to open it. And then when you have that little disc, there's no expiration date on it. So I don't know how it could be bread. And when you snap it, it's a lot like snapping plastic. And so it's convenient. We just take the outer package off, pass the tray around. You take a tray, you open it, you just rip, eat, sip, and move on. And I think that's the problem. I think that we've tried to cram so much into a church service. We've tried to make church so user and consumer friendly, so efficient and effective that we can just run people in, run them out, bing, bang, boom. Another church Sunday is done. It's clean, it's efficient, and convenient to the customers. And I think we like our God just like that. We like our God in small, convenient, clean, controllable, manageable portions. And that's it until the next Sunday, where we rinse and repeat. I mean, how often have you walked into a church and saw the tray sitting up front and go, oh, this is going to add another 15 minutes to the service. I better change my reservations, because if not, I'm going to be standing in line. I got lunch plans. I got the game to watch. How many times have we done that? And so it's all about making it through that slotted time. It's about rushing it through, making sure that we get it done. And sometimes the preacher just wants to keep preaching, and he goes over his allotted time, and now we got to sing that worship song because we don't want to skip the worship song because, the worship leader feels that his worship song that he picked out was so important. And then we got that final prayer, and we rush through communion, and it's lifeless, it's tasteless, it's meaningless, but it's safe. It's comfortable. It's just something we do. For some, it's only once a month. But if we're honest, I think our whole Christian life is centered like that. The Christianity has become like those little round plastic discs. It's routine, it's safe, it's controlled. But can I tell you, life and life as a Christian is nowhere that neat, nowhere that safe, and nowhere that comfortable. I truly believe that communion, the Eucharist, the Lord's Supper, whatever you call it, should be the most uncomfortable moment of your life each and every time you take it. Why? Because someone died for us to be able to partake in it, for us to remember his death. When Jesus passed that on to us, when he gave it to his disciples and told them to do this, he said, do this in remembrance of me. Or in other words, we could say, when you do this, you're remembering me. Or do this to remember me. In other words, don't forget. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget what it cost. It cost his body broken for you and his blood spilled for you. And when it comes to Palm Sunday should hit us differently every year. It should hit us hard because this is the day that we know Jesus takes his final walk into Jerusalem. He is walking, he's entering into Jerusalem, and he is moving towards his death. We celebrate it as a triumphal entry, a king coming into his kingdom. But the real weight of the moment, the real holiness, the real sacred part of this is where he's going. Every step into Jerusalem was one step closer to his betrayal by a friend, being beaten by occupying soldiers, and dying the most embarrassing death and most painful death that you could, on a cross by crucifixion. In the crowd, they were shouting, Hosanna, Hosanna, save us, save us. And Jesus knew that in a few days, perhaps a lot of that same crowd would be yelling, crucify him. And if we're honest, sometimes we do the same thing. We cry out, Jesus, save us. But once things get better, we start living our way, forgetting about Jesus again, ignoring him, maybe rejecting him, even replacing him with other things and other things to do. The Bible says, pick up your cross and follow him. But instead, what do? We keep putting him back on that cross over and over again. Palm Sunday wasn't clean. It wasn't safe. It wasn't comfortable. It was messy. It was chaotic. There were thousands upon thousands of lambs that were being herded down the road that Jesus entered in. You see, the sacrificial lamb for the Jewish religion entered in through the main gate. Jesus entered in through the sheep gate with all the other sheep from Bethlehem that would be slaughtered that week for the week of Passover. But Jesus knew exactly what was waiting for him, and he still went anyway for us, for you, and for me. So maybe this week remember what it cost for Jesus to make that triumphal entry. Grace and peace to you. God bless you. Have a great week.